Hi everyone, it's been a really long time since I've made a Christian vlog. I think it's been about 3 years. The last Christian vlog that I made, I think I was like in a pretty low spot in my life. And I remember I was feeling really overwhelmed and I wasn't sure what to do. So I decided to just make a vlog to just talk about how I was feeling. And I didn't think it would be that interesting to other people. I just needed to vent somewhere. And I was surprised that until now, for the past 2 years, I've been getting comments on it, and it's one of my more higher viewed videos. So I decided, since it seems like people do take an interest in it, I should make another one. So I do want to make it a bit more centered on a topic. I think last time I just kind of rambled about everything that was on my mind, and I have so many things on my mind. So I think I should just talk about one topic at a time and just go more in depth on it or whatever. So like, since I last made that video, there's been so many changes in my life. Like I can't even begin to list all the things that have changed. Like I feel like I'm a completely different person now in a lot of ways, and I feel very like happy about the kind of person that I became. But I still want to be better. I still want to improve. Oh, and excuse the lighting. I really wanted to record when the sun was up, but it was so hot, so I decided to just not do that. So hopefully it doesn't get too dark while I'm recording. Anyway, one of the other things that's changed in my faith life is in the last 3 years since I made that video, I've actually changed church, and it's made a huge impact on my life. The church I was going to before, I really did like it. Thus, one of the struggles I had with it was the distance. I was living in the countryside. It took me about an hour or more to get to Seoul. And then it was like very northern part of Seoul. I lived like an hour from Seoul southwise. So I arrived in Seoul, then I'd have to take the subway all the way north. And that took like an extra like 30-40 minutes after arriving in Seoul. So it would take me like 2 hours plus each way. And that was like 4 hours of traveling every Sunday. And I did that for like 2 years, and it was so hard on me. Like I was getting so exhausted. I wasn't feeling like going to church. I wasn't feeling like meeting people. And also like I'm very introverted. So I really need a lot of time to myself. So having so much time like spending going out it was really stressful. Like I wasn't just feeling about church. I was feeling that about meeting people in Seoul and just leaving my house. Like I got to a point where I just wanted to never leave anymore. It was pretty difficult. So I eventually I was planning to move to Seoul, but I found a church that was like near the bus terminal. So when I was still living in the countryside, it was like once I arrived in Seoul, it only took me like 10 minutes to get there. So that was a really, really huge difference. But then after I moved to Seoul, I decided to stay in that church because I really liked it. It's a much bigger church. Like the church I was going to before had about 30 people. Now there's like 500 to 600 people. Of course it's like divided. So there's like 2 services, and then in the first service it has like all the families and stuff, and then the, I guess, younger single, like I don't know how to describe it, like the non-families are mostly in the second service. And I just like that there's a lot more people so that I can actually like meet people. My previous church, like everyone was like, majority of the people were like 30s and older, and a lot of them are married. So it was not easy to like make friends in there. So yeah, it was just so much it's just so much nicer to like have community again. And that's one of the most positive changes that I've had in my life in the past few years, is that I feel like I have more of a solid community right now. I do have like a friend group at church that I hang out with regularly, and I feel like having this friend group, especially since they're Christian as well, I can really like share about stuff related to church and my faith life and stuff with them. But then also like we are people outside of church as well, so we can like share stuff that's happening outside of church, share stuff that we're worried about, share stuff about work. We go on trips together. We go to like trying nice restaurants and stuff together. It's nice to have that community and like having people that are there, even though it's like I don't really share like the really deep stuff that I kind of do need to share with someone. But it's nice that I do have regular people that I can see often, and I know that they consider me a friend, and it's nice to just know that. So even though I have this community now, I've really been struggling with a lot of loneliness, and I've been struggling with this for most of my life, and even now I'm still struggling with it. It's hard to really deal with this and pinpoint like where it's really coming from. I do have a good idea of like where mine is coming from, and it's like a lot of these like deep-rooted issues that are inside of me that I've been dealing with since I was a kid. And I know like the way I grew up was not a very like, nice way to grow up. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, and just the way I grew up, it really scarred me. And it's just like it's been lasting for a really long time. Like I'm in my mid-20s now, and I'm still like suffering from the stuff that I dealt with as a kid, which sucks. And I do feel like I've made a lot of progress, like so much progress in the past few years. I feel like I've grown so much, but I really do struggle so much with this. I really want to find a solution for this. And one of the struggles I've had is that when I speak to people at church about it, they often just say like, you just need to pray to God, or I'll pray for you or something. And like, that's, I do appreciate the sentiment. I understand the sentiment, but like as a Christian, I am praying, and I really do appreciate people praying for me. But when I go to someone, I'd really like to hear some like words of comfort, or just something of a bit more substance, I guess, like, because that's how I feel. Like it does feel a little bit of a cop-out whenever you go to someone for advice and then they just say they'll pray for you and that's it. And like I feel like the other person who's seeking advice, when they go to a person, I think they'd want a bit more. Like it's nice that you're praying for them, and I think you should tell them that, but say a bit more as well. Like at least just say something nice to make them feel a bit better or something. Because that was one of the things that like made it very difficult for me in my faith life back in Australia, was that I didn't really have much support. Every time I tried to seek some support or guidance, all I got was, I'll pray for you. And yeah, like I've been saying, like it's nice, but it just felt like I was being shut down. It's like it felt like they just wanted me to go away, so it was like a quick way to say. And like I know that that's probably not what they were thinking, but when you're struggling with something, when you're in that mindset of like dealing with a lot of crap, you don't think very clearly. And that a lot of the time that's how I felt. I was like always confused, like, do they actually care for me? Am I just a burden to them? Should I actually speak to them? And it got to a point where I felt like I was just a burden on people, so I just stopped seeking help from everyone, and I just like dealt with everything I didn't deal with anything. I just bottled everything up, and like I just waited for myself to explode or something. It's not a healthy way to deal with things. I hate that that happened to me, but I feel like because it happened to me, I know that it kind of taught me how I can help other people. So I think this is something, it's not just in a Christian situation, but just even in a non-Christian situation, I think you should try to offer a bit more substance when someone comes to you, because it does take a lot of courage to come to someone with your problems. But also, like, when someone comes to you with their problems, I feel like they come with the intent of like getting something from you. Like they would see you as someone that they can confide in, and someone that they feel would give good advice, or would have some kind of answer or comfort or something, some kind of wisdom that that's the reason why they're seeking it from you specifically. So I feel like we've got to make a bit more effort in that. And I feel really bad saying this, because I feel like I'm kind of like condemning the people that I've seek advice from, but in my experience, like it's just always made me feel worse, and I've been trying my best to not be that person. I really want to be the person that, if someone comes to me for advice, they're gonna feel, better when they leave, and they're gonna feel like, they can do it, basically. Like, I don't want people to feel like they're a burden on anyone. I don't want them to feel like they have to bottle things up. So that's something that's really been a struggle for me. It's just, this loneliness, and I've just had this need to be able to be myself. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm going through that I really want to like talk about with people, but I just feel like it's really hard to feel comfortable enough with everyone. So I think, especially for me, like I really need to do it like in a one-on-one situation. And I'm just right now, I don't really have any I don't feel like I'm particularly close with anyone. Like I do have like my friend group, and I feel like we have this like dynamic of being a group, but I don't really have like that one or two people that I go to for things and that I tell everything to. It's been pretty hard. So like these days I've been like, I've made some like friends online, and I've been trying to just be open with them, because you can't keep things in. I've done that most of my life, and it is really, really bad for you. Do not do that. Please seek help. It doesn't even have to be help, just seek someone that you can just vent to. Like, don't keep everything in. But yeah, so through the past few years of dealing with this alongside a lot of other stuff, I've realized how important community really is. Not just in this setting, but also with everything. Like, I've been working really hard on my art skills in the past year and a half. And one of the things I realized is that it's so much better when you're doing it with friends or with community. Every time I talk with other artists, or I have like art friends on Discord, and we just talk like very often. We share like our stuff that we're working on, or stuff that we saw on the internet that we really like, and it's really motivating, and it just like rekindles that fire in me to just keep going. So every time I feel like I feel very discouraged in my skills and stuff, having this community and having people that I can share it with, it really helps rekindle that fire and keep me motivated and on track. And I felt that with like exercising, taking care of my health, and of course with like my faith, and I guess just with life. But yeah, anyway, I think I rambled a lot again, but at least it was about the same kind of topic. Main thing is like I've changed a lot in the past few years. I feel like I changed for the better. I do feel like I'm a lot more confident and outgoing as a person. It's been a long journey of like going through like my social anxiety and depression and stuff, and like of course I still deal with it, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. I feel like a whole new person. And then I'm still dealing through my loneliness. I think it's going to be a long journey dealing with that as well, but especially since like I'm planning to move back next year, so I'm going to have to start making friends all over again. But I've already accepted my fate, so it's coming, and I'll deal with it when the time comes. And yeah, and then just like I just learned how important community is, and I think that's such an important realization, and now it's something that I can really apply in all aspects of my life. It's just trying to have community and not trying to go through life alone, not trying to go through any hobby alone, not trying to go through any journey alone in my life. Just try to be surrounded with people. And I think a really important thing is to be surrounded by positive people, not people who are constantly trying to bring me down, bring themselves down. If you're around people like that all the time, you're gonna like adopt some of that. There's that saying that you become your friends. So you want to surround yourself around the kind of people that you want to be. Don't downplay everything about your life. Don't, try to, even though there are things that we kind of suck at, things that are, not so good about ourselves. Like no one's perfect. We all have stuff that is not very good about ourselves. Just try to always remind yourself about the things that you do well, the things that are good about you. Everyone has stuff that's good about them. Even if you think you don't, you're just being extra hard on yourself, and you're just making it harder for yourself. I mean, there's definitely something that's good about yourself. All these small things, they add up over time. So try to really focus on all the small things and even big things if you can find them, you know, and just be positive about yourself. Don't let your mental illness or your whatever you're going through become your personality, become who you are. Even if you're suffering from something, you are not that thing that you're suffering from. You are your own person. You have personalities, you have wants, you have desires, you have a personality, and separate that from your mental illness and be who you are. And you know, when whatever you're going through is affecting you, deal with that, but don't let yourself become that, if that makes sense. I do want to talk about something related to that sometime in the future, but I'm gonna end this video before it gets too long. But thank you everyone who's been interested in my videos until now. I'll try to be more regular with these kind of videos, and I'm really enjoying talking about these kind of topics. So if you have any topics that you'd be interested to hear me talk about, let me know. And if you've gone through these kind of things, you know, let me know about that too. I'd love to hear your experiences with similar stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.